Hello everyone, this is Jesse Glenn in Costa Rica. Today I have a important and rather far out video to make. This will be all English. I'll try to do another one in Spanish. This is a little bit of the story of my life for the last 10 years or so. It was actually 12 years ago in 2012. First, about the middle of the year, I'm saying about July, I was told by a woman, "You're a light being and it's time to start your mission." And I asked her, "Why do you say that?" And she said, "The pendulum indicates it." She used a pendulum. And I said, "What's my mission?" She says, "Oh, I don't know. You'll have to find it out." Well, so I kind of, not really seriously, but started wondering, okay, is this true? And what is my mission? A couple of years later, I was actually told my mission, which was to change darkness to light. And I was woken by a big voice December 23rd, 2012. I was very much asleep. I had a big sleep deficit. And this big booming voice in the room with me said, "The cleansing begins with the aura." But they used a word for aura in some other language that I had to remember, if you want to say and translate what it meant. I'm now pretty sure that that language was Andromedan, because I've been told 4 times I'm from Andromeda. But the main thing I'm going to get into here is, along with this mission, the interesting story of Donald Trump. I will get back one little thing. If you'll see a video, which I'll put a link below to an interview where I talked about some of my odd experiences, including with Malaysia airline jet, which went missing, of course, in March of 2014. And of course, March of this year was the 10th anniversary, and I wanted to publish everything I know about it. But I was, if you want to say, warned by the pendulum that it was dangerous and that I shouldn't do it. And I asked, well, when might I be able to do it? And the answer was maybe in about 6 months, or a little more, maybe, I can't remember. But anyway, I didn't publish anything because of that. And interestingly, now that the Demoncrats will be voted out of office, I can ask now, is there danger, I'll ask the pendulum, is there danger in me revealing the truth about Malaysia airline flight? And the answer is no. 6 months ago, was there danger? And the answer is yes. So depending on the outcome of this election, there could have been a danger, a personal danger for me for revealing the truth about this. So we can see that basically the side of the light has won this election. I do not claim that Donald Trump is perfect or that all the people with him are perfect, but I can claim that they're much better than the other side. So, among other things, of course, those of us who do much investigation know that the 2020 election was stolen by the Demoncrats. And I actually have a video up where I ask how many legal votes did Joe Biden, or as I call him, Joe buy him, as you can buy him with the highest bidder can buy him. Anyway, he ended up having almost 40-some million votes, and the rest were falsified. They were not legal votes. I can put a link to that also. Anyway, so I'm wondering about this election, how they obviously, I had the feeling that they were going to have a hard time covering up a massive, massive steal like the last time. And but yet they would still try it, of course, and there'd be a lot of illegal votes. So the main thing I thought I could do without interfering directly in the election, which of course you'd say that's impossible. How could I from Costa Rica interfere with the election in the U.S.? Well, to not interfere and not to be impartial toward one candidate or the other, I just sent energy to, if you want to say, remove or make the illegal, the not legal votes so that they could not count as should be in any election. I did that. Okay. And of course, at the same time, I'm watching channeled messages of what could happen if Trump gets elected and what his chances of getting elected. And the general story is it was too close to call, and if he won, it might be weeks or even months before it's really decided, and there's be all kinds of violence and things. And this man who channels the famous extraterrestrial named Bashar, Bashar, Bashar actually said that if the man gets elected, it would be the end of the United States and World War III. And if the woman got elected, it would be the revelation of the extraterrestrials. So that sounds like a loaded question and is not what I had hoped for exactly, but we need to analyze it. Number one, they're trying to make World War III because Trump got elected. They want to blame it on him and make his life difficult. So there'll be an attempt to bring World War III even before he is president. And the end of the United States. Well, it will be the end of the United States it has been if we can get rid of the corruption. In fact, the United States corporation might be gotten rid of. So it might be the end of the United States corporation, and we go back to the actual republic as it was set up. So, and the revelation of which extraterrestrials if Kamala Harris got elected? Well, I would say it would be of the evil extraterrestrials who've been supporting the corrupt politicians, and they just want to be able to come out into the open and openly dictate us. So, far out ideas, right? So, obviously, Trump won, basically. He probably would have won even more if it would have been totally legal, but something happened that they didn't expect. And so I had the question. I did do a mail-in vote for Donald Trump and a few other people through Florida. And I asked, how many votes, this is my big question, how many votes did I affect, or how many votes did I actually make count or not count in the 2024 U.S. presidential election? And that my pendulum now, if you want to say it, insists that this is the truth, because every way I ask it and every time I ask it, I get the same answer. So we're going to see how many votes did Jesse Blenn, by how many votes did Jesse Blenn affect the U.S. presidential elections in 2024? Obviously, if it was just my vote, it would be 1. If it were a few people that I convinced, I may have caused 10 people, maybe, to vote for Donald Trump. Let's ask how many votes I actually caused to be caused or uncaused or removed from being counted in the presidential elections. 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, 2 million, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 million, 12 million. Okay, I've not got out the smaller numbers yet. 12,100,000, 12,200,000, 12,300,000. There's no energy of truth. 12,300,000, no. 12,200,000, yes. 12,210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 12,250,000, 260, 270. It's going to stop at 270. So it's 12,260,000 votes. I'm going to write that down because I sometimes get mixed up with my numbers. Okay, we're going to start with this 12,260,000 votes. 12,261, 62, 63, 12,264,000, 12,265,000. So it's going to be 12,264,000 votes. We'll leave it at that. I could get the exact number. 12,264,000 votes. Okay? Now, that's what I caused to be counted or not counted in the U.S. elections. Obviously, that was enough to change the outcome of the elections. Now, obviously, a lot of these 12 million could have been, if you want to say, contested through a lengthy process of seeing who they're for. Maybe they would have counted some of them, but not all of them. Okay. How many, we're going to delve into this a little bit. How many of these 12,264,000 votes were for Joe Biden? 1 million, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 million, 11.1, 11.2, 11.2, okay, 11.1, 11.1 million, 11.1 million were for Biden, which means the other ones were probably for Trump, or maybe they were errors that wouldn't be counted for either one. So those made the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump being able to at least be declared winner on election night or right after that. Okay. How many of these 12,264,000 votes were caused by me taking away their ability to be counted, the ability of the illegal votes to be counted as legal? How many of them were from that cause? 1 million, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 million, 9 million, 9.1, 9.2, 9.2, so 9.2 were not, 9.1, 9.1 million, I'm writing this down, were from me neutralizing that, okay? Where did the other roughly 3 million, how did they get neutralized? Well, the other main thing I did doing with these is to, if you want to say, dispossess them. My wife doesn't like me to use the word exorcise, but exorcism. I did an exorcism on a lot of these politicians, and that by being possessed or controlled by reptilians, and in a few cases by demons, they have a greater ability to convince people. You've heard of the snakes hypnotize their prey. They send out some kind of waves. Well, that's true, and these people who are possessed by reptilians can actually send out some kind of brain waves or whatever it is that can get people to believe them. They can say all kinds of stupid crap, and everybody thinks it's great because they've been controlled by these reptilian-possessed politicians. So, okay, we're lacking about 3 million there. How many people were, if you want to say, removed from being their votes counted because of the reduced ability of the politicians to convince them by me taking away the negative entities that were, if you want to say, sharing their bodies? How many were these? 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6 million, 3.7 million. Okay, 3.7 million. And of course, those added up come out to more than the 12.264 million. Okay. That means that some of these people whose votes would have been counted were also people who were controlled, or that they were affected by both things, both by not being so convinced by the negative entities, and also by not being legally able to vote. So there we have it. I have affected the United States elections by 12 million votes, which obviously would have, at the minimum, stopped all kinds of possible feuding among the different parties and maybe almost civil war and a lot of violence and stuff, and may have very well been the deciding factor in deciding the elections. But then there's some other people who have had some positive effects. So let's, if you want to say positive, votes for Trump in this case, which I consider positive. Let's check out them. Let's check, for example, Elon Musk. Connect with him. I have the connection. How many votes did his support for Donald Trump gain for Donald Trump of people who would not, without Elon Musk's support, who would not have voted for Donald Trump? 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 901, 2, 3, 4, 5, 905,000 people, 904,000 people. So Elon Musk helped get 904,000 votes for Donald Trump. 904,000. Write that down. 904,000. Okay. Another one which I think would have affected quite a bit is also Robert Kennedy Jr. How many votes did Robert Kennedy Jr. help get for Donald Trump? 100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1 million, 1.1, 1.2, and it's going to stop at 1.2, 1.1 million, okay, a little more than Elon Musk, 1,100,000, okay. I also have one of my brothers liked and I assume still likes Tulsi Gabbard, who I like. Nobody's perfect, but definitely. How many votes did she help to convince? How many people did she actually convince that who would, without her, would not have voted this way? How many people? And obviously, there's probably going to be some overlap in this. But how many people did she help convince, or was the major factor in convincing? 10,000, 100,000, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 200,000, 201, 202, 202,000, 201,000. Of course, when it starts spinning again in a perfect circle, that is the correct answer. 201,000. Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, now another person who had an influence here, we could say it would be Joe Rogan. How many extra votes did Joe Rogan get for Donald Trump? 100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500, it's getting close, 501, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 507, 506,000 votes, 506,000 votes. Okay, so if we add all those up, which we won't do, we've got something like 2.5 million votes. So they had an important part. The biggest was RFK Jr., followed by Elon Musk, followed by Joe Rogan, followed by Tulsi Gabbard. Okay. I'm going to ask, is there anybody who caused more people to vote for Donald Trump than me? And the answer is no. Okay? That's interesting. So, am I the deciding factor in Donald Trump's victory in the year 2024 election? And the answer is yes. Okay? As you may remember, and as I say, Donald Trump is not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But this is the best outcome we could expect, and I'm very happy with it so far. You may remember, if you follow my videos, I was told I have this assignment. So a few years after doing some of this crazy stuff, I had the idea, well, am I fulfilling my assignment? Am I, doing what I'm supposed to do? Am I doing more? Am I doing less? And I think I checked, and I had already done like 80 times what was expected of me, my assignment. So the last time I checked before this week, I think it was way up there. I remember when I was got up to 400 times what was expected of me, and then 800 times what was expected of me. As of today, we're going to ask this: how many times? Because the numbers in percents got too big. How many times have I done? How many times more than what was expected of me have I done? So 1 would be I was done what was expected of me. 10, I done 10 times, right? How many times of what was expected of me have I done in this project to bring the ascension of Mother Earth? 10 times, 100, 1,000, 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,000, 12,001, 12,002, 12,002, no, 12,001, that's the answer. I have done 12,001 times my mission. Okay, so then I already asked this question a little while ago, but I asked, okay, have other people done more than me? Just a minute to silence this. Let me silence this. Okay, almost done here. Are there other people who've actually done more to help Mother Earth in this ascension process? And the answer is yes. I'm not the most important. How many other ones? How many are more important than me? Have done more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 people have done more than me. And of course, I thought I didn't know who these are, but I thought of one you might want to look up, but you won't find a lot of information on Wikipedia and things like that about him, but he's done a lot. And his name is one of those Drunvalo Melchizedek? And the answer is yes. And I don't know as much as I should about Drunvalo Melchizedek. I know he was, a long time ago, he was traveling around the world re-energizing the energy grid of the earth or something really important. I didn't really understand what it meant, but he was doing something very important. So obviously what I have done is very important. If I wouldn't have done this, Trump may have still been the winner, but it would have been a long and possibly even bloody process. So I think I've helped a lot. And that's my story. As they say, kind of far out, but I have reason to believe that what I'm telling you is the truth, and obviously you can take it or leave it, but I got 12,264,000 votes for Donald Trump. Wow!